All right. Hey, everybody. It's just a little bit after 5:15 or so I figure we can go ahead and get started. My name is Ben Kamisar. I will be your host for tonight's Vespers. I was a camper from 2001 to 2007. I was a 2008 CIT, and then I spent the next 3 years on staff, mostly with the senior campers. Now I live in Washington, D.C., and I work in journalism. It's so great to see all of your faces, and it's especially fun to see some folks I haven't seen in more than a decade. Some of you were my former counselors, some of you were in cabin with me, and some of you I think were actually a camper. I had you in a program area or something like that. It's crazy, and I think that these things like that make these Zoom Vespers such a wonderful idea in these strange times. It's a perfect example of the power of the Coniston community and the love that makes it so special. And so tonight's actually the first night of Hanukkah. It's a holiday I grew up celebrating with my family, gathered around the table for a long dinner, meaningful conversations, and yes, presents as well. But this year, the holidays are different. My fiance and I, we spent Thanksgiving, just the two of us in our apartment, missing our families. We're still holed up here for Hanukkah, and we're probably going to be for Christmas, and we're feeling just about exactly what I imagine you all are feeling, just as that yearning to once again be close to those we love and to celebrate the things that we love with the people we love. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with the Hanukkah story, that's all fine. This is far from a Sunday school class. I think all you really need to know for the purposes of these next few minutes is what you probably already know. You celebrate in part by lighting a menorah. Looks like this, kind of a candle, as it says, for each of the 8 nights. Mine's a little bit dirty. But anyways, lighting the menorah, it sort of symbolizes, to gloss over a few things for speed, how the early Jews kind of coming out in a revolt against a dominating ruler, they thought they only had enough oil for one day. But that tiny bit of oil lasted for 8 days, conveniently the amount of time you need to go get oil from wherever you got oil back in the biblical days. But it's this idea behind that I kind of want to explore with you a bit tonight. This idea of finding light in darkness and the power of hope helping to get you through dark times. I mean, this year it's been challenging to say the least. For me, there have been many sleepless nights, stretches of anxiety, worry for loved ones, and for myself. And I've been lucky. I mean, many families in our small Coniston community across our country and around the world have not been lucky. They're trying to get through this with loved ones been battling in hospital beds, or in too many cases after a loved one passed away. It's horrible pain, and it's one that's defined this dark stretch of our lifetimes. But what's keeping me going, and what I hope can keep you going too, is trying to find light in that darkness wherever you can. I'm finding it in little things, and how I can enjoy being holed up in my tiny apartment with the person I love, in how a lack of an in-person social life has prompted me to take stock in and to invest more in my relationships. And I'm enjoying it by treating myself sometimes, maybe to a nice takeout dinner or a hike on a new trail that I've been meaning to try. I'm finding that light not just at a personal level, but all over in our communities and around the world. This may be a little bit too on brand for a political reporter, but there's numbers that show that some of the people who are hurting the most are giving at the highest rates. There was a poll that was done for the magazine Fast Company, found that 34% of those giving to hunger relief came from households that experienced a decrease in income. 32% came from households experiencing job loss during the pandemic. It's striking to me how those who are hurting are right there too, trying to help lift us all up together. And we're seeing light around the world too. There are millions of people trying to help shepherd us from darkness to light. Doctors and nurses risking their own health and well-being to care for the sick. Those who volunteered for vaccine trials without even knowing whether that would be safe, taking that risk to help us get back to normal as soon as possible. It's stories like these that are helping the world find light amidst this darkness, and helping us hopefully crawl out of the darkness soon and for good. As we sit here for a minute or so of reflection, I'd like you guys to think a little bit about the ways that we can bring light into this strange and dark stretch, and the ways that our loved ones and the world around us have lifted us up. And if you're having trouble seeing that light, I hope that you know that the people on this Zoom call and in our Coniston community, that we can help. Thanks, everybody. With that, I think juniors can head out to dinner, and the rest of you, I hope you have a great rest of your day.